Durag Wisdom here, and I hope I'm in focus. I hate to have you folks look at this face, and also maybe I'm doing you a favor if it's out of focus. In any event, today I'm dedicating my broadcast to my mentor, Professor and Rabbi, Professor Bert Siskin, who died recently, last year as a matter of fact. I had Professor Bert Siskin for Anthropology when I was when I was in junior college. He was a community college teacher, and he was a member of one of the greatest left-wing faculty I've ever seen assembled at a college. I mean, we're talking about, let me see, there was him, there was Bert Siskin, there was Pat Allen, there was Barbara Stouffer, there was Lawrence Jorgensen, there was Farrell Broslowski, there was Flavio Silvio, I think his name was. He was an art teacher. I didn't have him. And these teachers together on this community college campus gave a Yale, Harvard-style education. I mean, I will never forget what I learned from these folks, and especially from Professor Bert Siskin. I regret the fact that during that time I was conservative. I mean, I was searching, but I felt that my politics was conservative, which really it sucks. I was also going on into my religious period. You know, like I became like trying to get into Orthodox Judaism, and even though that's all long gone, you know, being Orthodox and all that stuff. I mean, the one thing that I left with was my tribal identification. That's part of what I learned from Bert Siskin. You can't say that the human cultures of this planet, that the various human cultures and ideas of this planet are infinite. The universe is infinite. But for this planet, the planet we live on, the multicultural, the thousands, maybe even millions of different cultures, subcultures that exist on this planet. And he taught me that so much of what we do in our own culture, in our religions, everything is interrelated to something that came before. I mean, the things we learn, and the things we do, and the things we will do, it benefits us if we are not ignorant of the variety of cultures all over this planet. Not to close ourselves in, but to open ourselves up. To, I hope I'm not out of focus. I mean, really, I'm sitting here like this, and I don't want you to have to strain your eyes. The cultures. It was in his class that I read the book Little Big Man by Thomas Berger. See, I was just really a big fan of that movie. Little Big Man, directed by Arthur Penn, is one of the finest, most intelligent movies. It's a revisionist Western, and when you watch that movie, you get a little bit of an idea of how Professor Bert thought. And he was very much knowledgeable of American Indian culture, and he respected it. And thanks to him, I got to know about Leonard Peltier. I mean, at that time, I don't know if Leonard Peltier, he himself, Bert Siskin himself, didn't teach me about Leonard Peltier. At that time, that hadn't happened yet, that Leonard Peltier, American Indian, had been arrested on false charges and falsely accused of murdering 2 FBI agents. No, my interest in Leonard Peltier grew out of whatever I learned from Professor Bert. And there's so much that we can learn from the American Indian culture about ourselves, about our planet, about how to live. But see, we've been contaminated by white European culture, which has one of the characters the chief says in the end, well, not in the end, but the character played by Chief Dan George, says to the Dustin Hoffman character, Jack Kreb, to everything in the world, to the white man, it is dead. And you know something? How true, how true, how true. If it wasn't for my anthropology course with Professor Bert, I would have maybe joined a religious cult. I would have been today a conservative right-wing shithead instead of being liberal and free. Thanks to him, you learn about the different nuances of culture and how certain cultures can brainwash you to think a certain way, to act a certain way, and that we can take how to behave from various cultures. I mean, I'm not going to walk around with my mother's skull around my neck as it is one culture. You can, that's something honorable. Your mom dies, you wear her skull around your neck you got a thing and you got a skull. I mean, if I was walking down the street like that, they'd arrest me. But in this culture, that's an honor. I learned all this from Rabbi Bert. Rabbi Bert. Walked into that class, kind of like a teddy bear kind of guy. I think I remember him having like brown curly hair. He almost had like an afro. A white guy with an afro. I love it. And of course, that's a long time ago. I mean, I was like, now I'm 66. When I had him, I was in my 20s. How buoyant, effervescent, excited he was when he was teaching his class. Anthropology. There's physical anthropology, there's cultural anthropology. That's what I took him with, cultural anthropology. Wow. It really changed. Along with reading 1984, which kept me from joining cults, along with in the movie, the 1956 version, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and with this guy, his anthropology class, it saved me from destroying my mind. Please, folks, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm an asshole too. I voted for Nixon. I told you, if you've watched any of my previous broadcasts, I voted for Nixon. I voted for Reagan. I voted for that creep Giuliani. I mean, I have to be honest with you. I have to have candor. I mean, I want people to watch this because I'm trying to warn you, to help you, to give you some idea of what to do about the enemies of our democracy that are going to be coming into power, who are already trying to destroy. You see, if Bert was alive now, Professor Bert, he would tell me these are very tribal people, extremely tribal. He wouldn't say they're contaminated by religion, because he turns out, I thought he was an atheist, but turns out the man was a member of the Unitarian Church, so he had some kind of religious belief. So I was kind of surprised about that. Not disappointed, because everybody has a right to their beliefs and what they want to believe, how they want to view the world. But it's the idea that these people have perverted their religious ideas with the idea of an urge to power for its own sake. I learned George Orwell, Don Siegel's Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Professor Bert Siskin's anthropology class. Thank you. I mean, since I'm an atheist, I don't believe in an afterlife. So I'm going to symbolically say, thank you, Professor Bert, for contributing something to my mind, for not taking something away, for introducing me to the vast idea of the variety of human culture, for being compassionate, for being liberal, open-minded. If there were 1 million Bert Siskins in this world, we'd have a better world. Rest in peace, Professor Bert. Thank you. Thank you for everything.